Hey, Junebug!
Remind me to fire my caption writer later. Hello everyone, I'm Keen47, aka Wolfkeen, and welcome to another edition of my My Little Pony vlogs for Season 2. Today, I am talking about Secret of My Excess, written by M.A. Larson. I gotta say, M.A. Larson did his job in this episode, in more ways than one. This is a great episode, and considering, it's a Spike episode in more ways than one, I think it's one of the best Spike episodes. Granted, we don't get the normal Spike in this episode, unlike later Spike episodes, but this one still is pretty good in more ways than one. Let's get into it. The episode starts with Twilight basically going through reshelving day, where she's basically reshelving all of the books. However, her concentration gets broken at Spike's weird laughter for some reason. Basically, he's been aging this item known as a fire ruby, and the reason why he's been aging it is because he wants to give that to himself as a birthday gift to himself, since his birthday's coming up. Didn't we just have a birthday not too long ago? I mean, think about it. Sweet and Elite was Twilight's birthday, and now we've got Spike's birthday in Secret of My Excess.
Coincidence? I think not!
So we move on through the episode where Rarity is looking for some advice from Twilight, and then she sees the fire ruby and is, like, astonished by it. I don't blame her. The fire ruby looks pretty cool as well. I would love something like that. So basically, Rarity is trying to get some information on Tabitha Capes. Like, just this weird fashionista, whatever. But then, of course, she starts feeling a little, off because Spike has this fire ruby and he's going to plan on eating it. And she just loves it. Like, she is in love with the fire ruby. Now, I know a lot of people are trying to say here, like, oh, Rarity coaxed Spike out of his object. I don't know if I would actually say that in more ways than one. She never said, I want it. Like, she never said, I want it. And, yeah, there was some indication that she wanted it, but it was never subtly said, and it was never, bluntly said. So, and the thing is that, I know some people are saying, oh, Rarity seduced Spike into giving him the fire ruby. I'm pretty sure that look that Rarity had was probably in Spike's mind, because you know how some characters overblow something when they see it. So Spike gives Rarity the fire ruby, and Rarity proceeds to kiss him on the cheek, which he proceeds to say, I will never wash this cheek again. And he meant it! Usually when characters say, I'll never wash this or that ever again, they wash it, of course, but, they say that metaphorically speaking. Spike took it to the extreme where he said, like, no, I said I was going to wash the cheek that Rarity kissed, and I meant it. And he had dirt and everything on his cheek along with that kiss. So Twilight tries desperately to try to clean Spike's cheek, and it leads to a couple of funny jokes. Once they do finally, once he does get his cheek cleaned, all of Twilight's friends come in to give Spike his gifts, which he's a bit shocked that he's getting gifts. And then, Rainbow Dash acts like, don't you get gifts on your birthday? And Spike says, this is my first birthday here in Ponyville, and every other birthday that I've been a part of, Twilight's only given me one gift. A book. And then you have Twilight coming in with a book, like looking at the book, I'm like, okay, I'm going away. Like, I found that to be hilariously funny in more ways than one. So what happens is that the party keeps going on, and Pinkie Pie tells Spike about a gift that the Cakes want to give him for his birthday. So, of course, he goes to Sugar Cube Corner, and the Cakes give him his gift, which is a sapphire cupcake. I won't lie, guys. That cupcake looks delicious. Too bad it would probably kill me. I mean, someone make a cupcake like that. Someone make a cupcake like that in real life with, like sapphire-styled rock candy. Someone make a cupcake like that. I will buy it. I will eat it. I promise you. So Spike's heading back home, and then he bumps into Cheerilee, and he begins helping Cheerilee gather her belongings. However, Cheerilee asks her what's got him in such a a good mood, and he explains that today's his birthday. So Cheerilee gives him a hat. I know every analyst, every person who saw this episode made this thing like, Why does she have a hat in a bag full of groceries? My argument, suspension of disbelief. Just let it go. But now Spike is starting to get a little greedy, where he's actually using his birthday as an excuse to get more gifts. He goes to a pony named Lickety Split and get his ball, then he goes to a pony named Junebug, and then tries to get her flowers. Twilight ends up backing him off at one point, snapping him back to reality at an instance. But it doesn't stay like that for long. So the very next day, Spike for some reason has grown, and now he's getting very greedy. Like, everything he sees around him, he wants. So Twilight takes Spike to a doctor, which can't help. Took him to a vet, can't help. And then finally took him to Zecora, where she said that he's starting to mature. And this is where we learn some interesting backstory of the dragons. Apparently, the dragon's heart are prone to greed. And they grow faster the more greedy they become. Like, the more stuff they gather, the more greedy they become, the faster they grow. And Zecora warns Twilight that if she doesn't get control of this, he's going to turn into a monster. Which then proceeds to have Zecora have all of her stuff taken away. So Spike is now in Ponyville taking random crap from everybody, while Twilight is trying to gain control of the situation. Which is not working. And as Spike keeps, taking things, the situation gets worse and worse. I mean, Spike stole Applejack's apples and leaves from her trees. She stole Fluttershy's chicken coop. She stole Pinkie Pie's cakes from Sugar Cube Corner. He's just taking everything at this point. And then we get the King Kong reference, where he takes Rarity from her home, and it basically is carrying her from his tail. So now they're trying to find any way to try to calm Spike down, but of course it's all failing. At one point, Spike's swinging Rarity, and Fluttershy and Rainbow Dash get caught in the cape and tied up and just fall into the river. Then the Wonderbolts come in trying to help, trying to help the situation, which, what are they going to do? What are the Wonderbolts going to do to a dragon? But then again, they cut off, his scales, I think those were. One of them, flew up and cut off his scales. It really pissed him off. So what he does at one point is that he puts away all of the stuff that he gathered into a cave, and then he catches the Wonderbolts in the water tower, and then puts the water tower into the wall. Great job, Wonderbolts. Good job. Good job. So what happens next is that Rarity tries to talk with the dragon. She has no clue this is Spike, by the way. She tries to talk to the dragon, and of course, he's not listening whatsoever. Basically being like, blah, 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 blah. And of course, when Rarity takes off her cape, saying that what he did is a crime against fashion, he sees the Fire Ruby. And Rarity notices what he looks at. He's like, oh, no, you don't. You're not getting this gemstone. And she even says it this was given to me by my friend Spiky Wikey, and it is too precious for me to be given to some dragon like you. See, guys? It's not like Rarity took the gem and didn't care about Spike whatsoever. So there was, at least, when she got the gem from Spike, she felt really strong about him as a friend. Of course, after he heard this line, Spike flashback, went back into his mind and was back at the scene where he gave the Fire Ruby to Rarity, and Rarity kissed him, which proceeded to cause him to change back into the baby dragon he was. This, of course, leads to both of them plummeting to their near deaths. Basically, Spike at this point admits to Rarity that he had a crush on her. He didn't get to finish it, but, Rarity stopped him at one point, so she probably already knew. Luckily, they get saved by Fluttershy and Rainbow Dash at the nick of time, and Spike begins to feel guilty about himself because of what he did. But Rarity, comes to his side and comforts him and lets him know, that he did well, considering that he was able to fix himself. Then we get the moral, it's always better to give than to receive, and yada yada yada. And of course, because of this episode, I think this is what started disparity shippers. Because, think about it, guys. After Spike admitted that he had a crush on her and Rarity knew for the fact, I'm pretty sure a lot of disparity shippers started to work on the different kinds of fan art, fan fiction, and other stuff like that about Spike and Rarity being together. My thoughts? Don't care. I don't care about shipping in the slightest. And please no comments about shipping in my comment section, okay? One thing I asked for, that's all. So that's Secret of My Excess. Really good episode. I love this episode. M.A. Larson knew what he was doing with this episode, and it was definitely interesting the routes that they went for in this episode. I mean, think about it. Being greedy can lead to you changing your personality, which is true. Like, when you become greedy, you could, like, end up causing yourself to go through some certain situations. Like, say I got greedy with my games and not let any of my friends play. They would get angry with me. Being greedy can cause problems. And yes, it's always better to give than to receive because you feel better about it. And not to mention, I do like the roles of each of the characters in this story. I like how Twilight was trying her best to maintain Spike's situation, even though it was getting out of hand. And I do like that Rarity does show, like, you know, she knew Spike had a crush on her. Though what really annoys me is that in later episodes, she doesn't really show it that well. Like in Dragon Quest in some cases. In Dragon Quest, she kind of seems like she's condescending to that fact. But I'll get to that episode when I get there. All in all, Secret of My Excess, really good episode. I love this. M.A. Larson did his job. Well, this is going to be interesting, though. The next 2 episodes dabble in the lore and history. This will be interesting because, as you know, guys, I'm a big fan of history and lore in cartoon, games, and other stuff like that. So, these next 2 episodes are going to be an interesting one for me. So, till next time, guys, I'm Keen47, aka Wolfkeen. Hope you enjoyed. And until next time, guys, take care.